9. Dodge. When Allan Pinkerton withdrew from the intelligence field in 1862, Lafayette Baker became his heir in the East. In the West, the principal benefactor of Pinkerton's legacy was Grenville M. Dodge. Born in a Massachusetts farmhouse in 1831, he attended the Durham Academy, New Hampshire, Norwich University, Vermont, and matriculated from Partridge's private school in 1851 with a degree in civil and military engineering. Prior to the Civil War, he held various surveying positions with Western railroad companies. With the outbreak of hostilities, he served in a military capacity on the Iowa governor's staff before becoming a colonel of the 4th Iowa Regiment. He saw heavy fighting in the Southwest and distinguished himself in combat, with the result that in March of 1862 he was advanced to brigadier general. Dodge was introduced to intelligence operations in late 1861 when General John C. Fremont, the commander of Missouri, ordered him to investigate certain rumors regarding rebel activity in the area. It is not evident that he had prior familiarity with this type of duty, but it is possible that his surveying positions had acquainted him with the techniques of frontier scouts and railroad detectives. In response to Fremont's order, Dodge sent his cavalry into all parts of the state, spent 2 months in the pursuit, exhausting many horses and riders. From this experience, he decided to maintain a few men in the field who knew Arkansas and Missouri, paying them with money received from fines and licenses. Thus began his spy network, a system subsequently credited with saving the Army of the Southwest in March 1862 from advancing Confederate forces. Quote, while rebuilding the Mobile and Ohio Railroad, Dodge again sent agents into the field. He concluded that most of the rumors he heard were false, but about this time he hit upon a method by which a spy could estimate the size of any enemy force by noting the space it occupied on a road. Before long, Dodge was receiving detailed descriptions of Confederate troop movements throughout the South. End quote. In July 1862, Major General Henry W. Halleck became General-in-Chief of the U.S. Army, opening the way for a major intelligence role for Dodge. Quote, when Halleck went east and Grant succeeded to the command in the West, the hour had come for guessing and blundering through to give way to strategy and even to cunning. No one knew the strength of the South, and the Confederates fought as if they had plenty of reserve. Moreover, rumors were everywhere about the superior strength they would bring to bear in the Vicksburg campaign at hand. It was thought that there were 60,000 Confederates south of Grant and nearly as many to the east of him. A loose and inefficient system of Secret Service in the first 18 months of the war had left the Federal officers in the West believing no one. It was to obviate this condition and to secure authentic information that General Grant turned to General Dodge and gave him the responsibility of reorganizing the whole system. End quote. Dodge came to his new assignment at the recommendation of General John A. Rawlins, Grant's chief of staff, and had not actually met with the new commander of the Western troops. In his new role, Dodge had 2 forces. He organized the 1st Tennessee Cavalry, a regiment of Southern Unionists who served in the regular army. By virtue of their relatives and friends in the Confederacy, members of this unit contributed to Dodge's clandestine spy network with contacts and informers. He also utilized many blacks who, disregarded by Southern pickets and patrols, functioned as messengers. Quote, Dodge's system brought headaches as well as rewards. Financial troubles were especially severe. For a spy commencing a long trip was usually given between $5,000 and $10,000 in Confederate money. Moreover, Dodge paid his spies for each mission. Those who lived permanently within enemy lines received what they requested, although some of them refused compensation because they were Unionists or because their sons, brothers, or husbands were in the Federal Army. End quote. In early 1863, the economic problem was solved when Grant authorized the use of confiscated Confederate funds to maintain the spy network. At its peak, Dodge's intelligence system counted 117 field agents, known personally only to him and familiar to his most trusted aides only by an identifying number. This situation created certain accountability problems. Once, Dodge's immediate superior cut off his funds when the identities of the spies were refused for reasons of security, but the matter was appealed to Grant, who, taking time from his Vicksburg campaign, reinstated the funding. Another time, Dodge was charged with land cotton speculation for financially enhancing his spies and/or himself. The dilemma was such that, in refuting the allegation, the identities of certain agents operating behind Confederate lines might become known, and Dodge decided, at Grant's suggestion, to remain silent about the matter. For many years thereafter, however, accusations about the charges dogged him. Quote, "During the war, about half of Dodge's spies were captured or killed by the enemy. Some were court-martialed and executed by the Confederates, but not one betrayed the North, although to save their lives, many pretended to do so. Forced to join the Southern Army, one agent within a short time was made first sergeant of his company. For a year, Dodge believed he was dead. Late in the war, however, the spy, still dressed in his Confederate uniform, slipped through the lines and again reported for duty." End quote. Dodge proved to be a shrewd spy master, disguising his operations and utilizing the information he gained for the best possible military advantages. He emphasized geographic data and details regarding weapon and troop strength. In his intelligence activities, Dodge was Grant's general, and when Grant was given command of all Union forces in March 1864, the Secret Service force began to be phased out. In August, in the Battle for Atlanta, Dodge was severely wounded and temporarily retired from active duty. During this time, the intelligence network he had built terminated completely, and no directive for reinstatement ever revived it. Dodge returned to military service in November and finished war duty. He later fought in Indian skirmishes before turning his attention to politics and railroad development. In 1866, he served in the House of Representatives, declining renomination in 1868. He subsequently became active in railroad construction, was president of the Union Pacific, Denver, and Gulf Line in 1892, and even promoted railroads in Cuba before his death in 1916. In his intelligence activities, Dodge reflects military professionalism. He sought information almost exclusively to enhance Army field operations and to develop effective strategy for pursuing the Confederate fighting forces. This is Our Hidden History